To what extent has the Taiwan Relations Act guided AmCham's work as a business community?
I think it plays a very serious and significant role. It is a framework, and it's a framework that exists in a space that without the TRA might have nothing. When derecognition occurred, there was not a go-to model for how the U.S.-Taiwan relationship would be structured. U.S. businesses, unlike the U.S. government, had continuity here in Taiwan. So the Chamber took on this role of kind of an intermediary. We were very fortunate at that time that we had a chairperson, Robert Parker, who was a lawyer. And Robert Parker, being a lawyer, was able to think about the legal issues from a United States and American perspective and help address those with Congress in February of the next year.
And the membership for which I speak consists of the people who live and work in Taiwan who actually carry on the ongoing commercial relationship between the United States and the Republic of China.
We went from a typical Chamber of Commerce representing business and maybe the interests of the community and social interests to one that became very much involved with advocacy and helping make sure that there is stability and there's a structure in the way that the U.S. and Taiwan interact is something that AmCham has been a part of ever since.
And Mr. Silver, you've often mentioned a more urgent need for a bilateral trade agreement between Taiwan and the U.S. I'm curious what the reception in Washington has been like. Can you describe this a little bit? And also, are you expecting that to change given it's an election year?
So the bilateral trade agreement is something that is at the top of our members' hopes for future engagement between the United States and Taiwan. We're conducting physical door knocks in Washington, D.C. again, and that will also happen in June. This, too, is an annual event. We bring leaders of industry from Taiwan to Washington to have direct dialogue on Capitol Hill and with other decision makers. The good news is that even if a bilateral trade agreement is still something that is a discussion point, and I think has bipartisan support, there are other things that are definitely happening this year. 21st Century Initiative on Trade is one of those things. The USTR in its March report to President Biden said that it was really at the top of their agenda for this year and trying to get the second half of that done.
What would you say is central to that advocacy that you're describing, and how has it evolved throughout the years?
So evolved greatly. And if we think simply about the shared values that we have with Taiwan today, shared democratic values, probably couldn't have said that to the same extent in 1979 or even in the 1980s. Today we can. We've continued to build on this and work in terms of economic engagement, in terms of trade, in terms of helping the U.S. government and others in Washington see Taiwan as a very important part of the U.S. economic structure around the world.